The Fitbit Sense 2 and Versa 4 have been out for about 3 years now, but as the prices have dropped, so has Google's focus on them. Let's take a quick dive to see if they're right for you. So one of the nice things about the Versa 4 is that it is lighter than the Versa 3, and it is also thinner. The battery life is generally pretty good. I think they say you can get up to 6 days. I've rarely got that. I've probably gotten 5 or 6 days sometimes, but I do use it for activity tracking, and sometimes I'm just checking stuff on it like the weather. I would say on average, I probably get between 4.5 days, but it does charge up pretty quickly, so not a huge issue. And just FYI, I'm coming from the Inspire 3, and this is the Inspire charger. It is not compatible with the Versa. The Versa and the Sense have their own chargers, which is also separate from the Charge charger. This has been a gripe of mine for a while, but I don't think that's changing anytime soon. Also, while there technically is Wi-Fi, I believe, in the hardware, for most things you do need Bluetooth connection. But two things that are nice as standalone features are the NFC chip for Google Wallet, which makes it incredibly easy to go on a run. You can go tap, get a drink, or something like that. You can see you do need to sync it in the phone there. It works pretty well, and I've never had an issue with it. The map support is nice too. I bike a lot personally, so that is sometimes nice to have. If I'm taking a bike where I don't have a phone stand on it, that is much easier to look at than pulling out your phone and being a little safer on the road. The bands are very easy to change now. They have a more Apple-like interface where it clicks in and locks there. The only time I've had it fall off, I've never had it fall off in kind of daily usage. The only time that's really happened is when I've been playing basketball and it gets knocked a little bit loose or gets tugged on in some way. If there's enough force on it, then it is possible that it could pull off. There's also a host of sensors in here. So it does basic heart rate tracking, the SpO2, the skin temp, and it also can even do menstrual cycles for women. But the Sense does have 2 additional sensors in it. One of the big features they actually added now is call support. So if you have someone call you and you're away from your phone, you can quickly answer it. It doesn't get the loudest, but I think it's better than having nothing in the watch. Really quickly about pricing, you can check them all down in the link below, but this has dropped in price significantly and goes on sales very regularly, even below the MSRP, which was I think was $230 back in the day. A very good price in general, and I think it'll probably keep going down as it does get older. It's already in the more affordable section of smartwatches, but I think it'll get even more affordable over time. Now, 2 things that are important to know is that Google bought Fitbit in 2021, and in 2024, last year, they even shut down Fitbit.com, I believe, for a lot of the integration there. And so it's likely possible that Google is swapping out a lot of the Fitbit devices for the Pixel devices that they make and want to own. And in that case, Fitbit would be more of a software purchase in general than it would be a hardware purchase, because they're probably using a lot of the same fitness tracking stuff that comes from the Fitbit ecosystem. But they have never really clearly stated that. That's just a lot of speculation that's out there. That is important to know. And for example, the last device that Fitbit released was in 2023, which was the Charge 6. So that was their latest device. This is pushing 3 years now, but I do think it's relevant because of the battery life, which is better than most of the current smartwatches out there. And so that brings us into the software. I believe Google has stated that they're going to be supporting this device until 2026. And also for a device that's been out that long, they've probably found all the kinks and the bugs by then. So even if you're watching this video well after mid-2026, it is possible that this still will be relevant in terms of something that just works and is good in terms of battery life. I've found the sleep tracking to be very reliable. One of my favorite features is the silent alarms. And so those will just buzz on your wrist. And there actually is a smart wake feature, which you set the time that you need to be up by, like at the latest. And then within the half-hour window before that time, it will wake you up when you are in the lightest sleep. So potentially that can help you be less groggy when you wake up in the morning or from a nap or something like that. And I've been using that feature for the past 6 months because I had it on the Inspire 3, and then I'll show you on the UI here, but it's a little trickier to find. You have to scroll down. It's not right in your face there. The silent alarms are nice just because sleep is sometimes more about quality than quantity. And when you're waking up in the right cycle, 7 hours could feel better than 8.5 hours, for example, if you're waking up in the wrong cycle of sleep. There are many more activities now on the Versa, the Sense, and I believe the Charge 6. The Inspire 3 didn't really get a lot of those updates, so it's more limited in the exercises it can track. But for example, I play tennis, so it does, if I put it on my left hand, I can do tennis tracking, I do swim tracking, it'll auto track my basketball runs or soccer runs, and then even sometimes if I'm jogging or going on a walk, it will auto track that activity without me even having to touch a button. And then one thing you should know too is that there is no third-party app support like I believe there were on older models. And that is probably, I would imagine, Google trying to limit it so it doesn't interfere in their pixel range of watches. That being said, there are a lot of nice watch faces. This one's probably my favorite because it does have the weather on the front page and it gives really quick vitals of all the information that I would want to know. Now, there is unfortunately no offline music playback in this. That's something I really wish it had, just like a little bit of offline storage. And so then you could just go on a run, bring your speakers, not have to bring your phone. And there's also no music control. It does have YouTube music integration though. I personally don't use that, so I can't really speak to how good that service is on it. And then there is Amazon Alexa integration there. There is no Google integration, so if you have a Google Home or something like that, this is probably not the right device for you if you want to have that integration on your wrist. I have Alexas throughout my apartment, so for me it's perfect and was part of the reason that I wanted this. The timers are really great on it, and one of my favorite features is actually their little weather app widget here, and it allows me to just on my wrist get the hour by hour weather on there, which can be pretty invaluable. So who's this for really? I believe it's well suited for beginner and intermediate users in need of affordable yet accurate fitness / health and sleep tracking. It has a multi-day battery and a pretty lightweight, thin design, which I can actually sleep with. Sometimes when you're sleeping with a bigger watch, if you end up in a weird position where it's on your face or something like that, it can just be really uncomfortable. So this, you will not have that issue. And then I turn off most of my alerts. I just want to get calls on here and maybe some calendar notifications for important events. If you want notifications and contact pay list stuff, then this can do that for you. And also activity reminders are good in general. So I think this is less suited for people that are very serious athletes seeking, precision, heart rate, peaks, VO2 maxes, GPS maps of your runs and whatnot. It does do the GPS maps. And I did a bike ride last week, so I'll show you the map of that. But there are other trackers that are a little bit more accurate for that stuff. And then it's also less suited for maybe very tech-savvy users who prefer Google's Assistant and other Wear OS features of the Google ecosystem. I did do a video recently of the new Pebble watches that are coming out. Those are being rebranded as the Core Devices. Those are really interesting too and have much better battery life. So you can check out the Core Devices here if you'd like to see those and what's coming up, or you can check out my last Inspire and Charge video over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.